Hello out there. My name remains Felix I.C. Igibo. I'm a journalist, an author, and a preacher of God's word. Today I'm going to quickly run through the prophecy of Daniel, and I'm going to quickly be talking on the topic America in Last Days Prophecy. America in Last Days Prophecy. I'm doing this to awaken Christians in America and Christians all over the world on the trend of things going on in America and in the whole world as we speak. I wanted to do this much later, but because of the elections that were held in the states of New Jersey, governor election in New Jersey and Virginia, and the election into the office of Attorney General of the state of Virginia, and then the mayoral race in New York. All these races, and even there is one also, another race as well, going on in Minnesota, I think. All these races that have been concluded were all won by Democrats. Now, why am I doing this? Is it that Democrats are bad or they are not good people or something? No. But because what is happening now is like prophecy playing out. Part of the prophecy of the last days that Daniel talked about. Daniel the prophet talked about. I can see it playing out. And as the Spirit of God moved me, I felt I should quickly do this video to address this issue. Now, I'm going to quickly read from the book of Daniel chapter 7. I read from verse 1. In the first year of Belteshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. And behold, I beheld, till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Because this is an elaborate teaching I'm going to do, I started this 4 years ago, but I stopped at a point because it was necessary that I concluded some of the books I was writing. So that's why I stopped the series on the interpretation of this part of Daniel's prophecy. People normally talk about the 666 mark of the beast as if it is everything that has to do with the last days. Oh, 666. So people are going to take the mark. Oh, what does the mark signify? What is it? What does it mean? And all that. People or Christians mostly concentrate on that. But from what I understand, the mark of the beast is the list of what you need to bother yourself about as a Christian. And what you need to do as of today, Christians living now, is to consider prophecies from the book of Daniel. Then we are going to now look at Revelation and see how the prophecy actually is playing out in the world of today. How are these prophecies playing out now? America in last days prophecy. I told you, I said America is playing a major role in this last days prophecy. How is America playing a major role? America is playing a major role because most of what is happening now, all what you are seeing now, of course, a lot of people have interpreted the Babylon talked about in the book of Revelation chapter 18 as America, Babylon the Great. That America is the great harlot, Babylon the Great, that welcomes everybody, the great harlot. You can see they have brought in Right from the beginning. In fact, the foundation of America, spiritual is based on or established on spiritual harlotry. That is, people from different cultures all over coming into that country. That is, America. The only people you can call the original Americans are actually the Native Americans. They are the real Americans that you can say, okay, these are the people that were made there and all that. Just after that, all the people that came in from Europe, came in from all over the world, came in from India and everywhere, and then they took over the land and everything. That is the spiritual harlotry. That is bringing in DNA, bringing everything from everywhere to now form that nation. Now, these people, not just that they brought in all these people and all that, America eventually became a Christian nation. And then the great preachers of old, they rose up from that land. But with time, in the process of time, this harlotry now, spiritual harlotry, not physical, spiritual harlotry, it became something that, just like idolatry that Solomon started to practice when his wives brought in all the strange gods. So all the people, the strange men and women that have been coming from all over, and they accept them, they allow them, they give them a place, they call it the American dream and all that. And then at the end of the day, those people start to try to promote their own cultures, promote whatever they have believed in before they came to America. They didn't stay in their own lands. They came to America to now start to establish. So America is heavily corrupted as we speak. Now, I'm talking about America in last days prophecy. Now, like I said, we are going to read the book of Revelations and see what I'm talking about. We are going to first of all look at Revelation chapter 17 and see the great harlot they are mentioned there, and then we are going to go to chapter 18, which actually is a continuation of what chapter 17, what is written in chapter 17. But first and foremost, let me quickly talk about this Daniel's prophecy. Now, if you look at it from verse 1, many people have tried to interpret this. Great preachers of old have tried to interpret this, but they have not been able because it doesn't add up. And one of the people that tried to interpret it is Matthew Harris. If you look at his commentary, the Matthew Harris commentary, if you look at his commentary that he wrote about, and you read about this, chapter 7 of Daniel, and you see everything that Matthew Harris was actually talking about. And he was talking about a king rising up in Europe who is going to become the Antichrist and things like that. Not taking, in fact, he interpreted this place wrongly. He was talking about what Daniel saw, that he was looking at some people in Medo-Persia, blah, 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 and people and some rulers rising up from Europe to do this and do that, and that the Antichrist will come from a particular part of Europe and all that. In fact, some of them started saying the Pope will be the Antichrist and all that. All those things are all wrong as far as I understand the Bible and I understand the prophecy of the last days. From what we have seen here now, in one of my videos, I talked about Charlie Kirk and, the difference between light and darkness and all that. And I was talking about the Democrats trying to block out the line. And whatever happens in America has a way of resonating all over the world. I said they were trying to block out the clear line of distinction between light and darkness, between right and wrong, between good and evil. They've been trying to do that for a long time. And then they are the ones also who said they don't know there's no difference between a man and a woman. They said that it is okay for humans to sleep with beasts and all that. These are the people that have been promoting all these kind of things. And because they want to take out light, they want to take out, they want to turn good into evil and evil into good, light into darkness and darkness into light. That's what they have been trying to do. And that is why I am doing this video right now. Now, talking about the prophecy of Daniel. If you look at it in that verse 1, he said, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and vision of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my head vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. The four winds of the heaven is talking about the four cardinal points of earth: north, south, east, and west. That is what it's talking about. Four winds. It's talking about north, south, east, and west. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. Four systems. These beasts we are talking about here. I have to open up and tell everyone what these things mean, because God has given me this key long ago. But I was waiting for the right time to start to open up what I believe the Spirit of God has put in me and explained to me and help me to understand, enlighten me to understand. He says, and these four great beasts, systems of government. These four great beasts you are seeing here, and you are going to see by the time we start to go into the prophecy and go into everything, you see there the four systems of government that came up in the world. This great sea is talking about the world as a whole. humanity and the world as a whole. That's the meaning of that great sea. And these four beasts that came up is four systems of administration, four systems of government, four systems of human administration that came up from the striving. That is, human beings have been, the striving means all that human beings have been doing to try to get a system of government that works. A system of government that can work for humans. That is the striving that you saw there. And now look at it in verse 4. The first was like a lion. The first system that came up was like a lion and had eagle's wings. And I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. It says the first system that came, that the first beast that came up was like a lion. The lion represents monarchy. If you look at the whole world, the first system of administration in the world, the first system of human administration, human government, is the monarchical system. Kings, queens reigned. The monarchical system, the kings that reigned before now. And even till now, we still have the monarchical system still reigning in many parts of the world. Even till today, the monarchical system is still reigning till now in many parts of the world. Though a lot of them are now, because if you look at it, let's look at it. Let's look at it together. I had eagle's wings. Why did he say that eagle's wings? Because it was going to go all over the world, fly all over the four corners of the earth. That is the four winds: north, south, east, west. So it had four. He said, and had eagle's wings. That means it was going to fly. You know, eagle. What eagle does? So it's going to fly all over the world. All right. And beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. The wings were plucked, so that system of government was cut short, was derobed or defeathered. It was defeathered. The wings were plucked off, so that it can no longer fly. It can no longer go. People will no longer accept it. Okay? And beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Why did he say a man's heart was given to it? It was a lion. Monarchical system of government. It was a lion, and a man's heart was given to it. What does that mean? A man's heart means the monarchies, that is the kings, that had the total absolute rule back then, and even a few places on earth practice the monarchical system. Absolute, we are talking of absolute monarchy. A very few places still practice absolute monarchy. They were dictatorial kings. These kings were authoritarian. They were dictatorial in nature. So anything they say, that is the final and all that. Now, he says, a man's heart was given, it was defeathered, and then a man's heart was given to it. Meaning, the kings no longer had the authority that they used to have. Remember, then they said, whom they please, they kept alive. Whom the king pleased, he kept alive. Whom he pleased, he killed, he unalived. So, meaning they had absolute authority, absolute power. Time will not permit me to start going into all those other scriptures. So I will just try to because I'm trying to be as fast as I can, so that I can cover a lot of ground in this first video, because I can't do this in one video. Obviously, I can't do this in one video. So a man's heart was given, it was meant to stand upon the feet, and a man's heart, so that is the monarchical system lost its soul. That is no longer the absolute monarchical system that used to be. A man's heart was given to it means they now started to practice what the kings of the earth today. What they now do is ceremonial duties. They are only there to perform ceremonial duties on ceremonial roles, to play ceremonial roles. That's what they're doing. A man's heart was given to it. So no longer the absolute monarchy, no longer the kind of power they used to wield back then. So Daniel saw it, that system of government will play out, and this is what will happen. And then he said, he saw another system of government. Look at it here. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear. And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Arise, devour much flesh. Now, this system obviously is this communism. It's communism. The communist system of government is the bad socialism. This communist system of government also has played. Now, the first system, like I told you, is the monarchical system. That one has been in the world from time immemorial. Everybody knows that. Everybody all over the world, it was the monarchy that was reigning all over Europe, everywhere, in Africa, here, everywhere. It was the monarchical system. So it flew all over the four quarters of the earth. So it was the monarchy. Now, another one came up, the communist system of government. This one now, even has its roots in the Bible. This system, remember, in the New Testament. Remember, the monarchical system started in the Old Testament. Even before the Jews had a king. All other nations before them already had kings, before they started agitating for a king. So it has been there. It has been there. Because, of course, the order of heaven is the order of the monarchical system. Because God is ruler over all, and he has absolute authority. So that was established on earth. I'm not going to all that now. But let me now continue here. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it has 3 ribs in the mouth of it. 3 ribs. 3 main nations three main nations were captured absolutely by communism. If you look at it, and it says, and they said unto it, devour, arise, devour much flesh. It was the communist system that they tried to force on the world. Look at it there. After this, and no, and after this in the mouth of it, between the teeth, and they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Devour much flesh. It was that communist system of government, that communist system of human administration that they try to force on people. Accept it. If you don't accept it, you will be unalived and all that. And people accepted it, all over in some parts of the world. It was not something that spread everywhere. In Africa, I think it was only Kenya also that accepted communism. So it stood on one side of it. It couldn't stand on its four legs. It stood on one side because communism did not spread all over like the monarchical system of government that had the eagle wings that spread all over the four quarters of earth. This one did not spread all over. It stood, and we are going to see all that as we read along. So it is communism that did not really spread everywhere, and it is the beer. It's talking about the beer. Look at the nations that practice communism. What is their national animals? You talk of Russia. Russia is the beer. Talk of China, panda beer. You talk of another nation that was captured, Cuba, and all that. So you see, the prophecy is very clear. It's talking about human system of administration. The human systems of administration. I pray the Lord be merciful to us as we continue in Jesus' name. All right, let's look at verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Dominion was given to it. Dominion was given to it. You know very well that is democracy. Dominion was given to it. You know very well that is democracy. So it says that a leopard, that is all over the world, you are going to see it. Democracy will take over. Dominion was given to it. Democracy will take over. That is what it was saying here. And then look at it in verse 7. After this, I saw in my night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Okay, I don't want to go into all this one now because I'm going to have to tear a lot of things to pieces, and I have to go into other Bible passages to do this. So time will not permit me. I just want to talk on the place of America for this video. I want to talk of the place of America in a last days prophecy in this particular video. That last beast, by the way, is talking of a coming together of all the first 3 systems. That fourth beast, we are going to see elements of the 3 systems of government: monarchy, communism, and democracy. That is the last beast, and that's what we are seeing playing out in the world today. Now, like I have said in one of my videos before, America is going to definitely succumb to communism or socialism. They are going to succumb to socialism. There's no way, they can't escape it. They will succumb to socialism. I said it in one video, and some people were not happy with me, especially Americans. They were not happy with me at all. And I was saying that America will not escape socialism. You already see the signs of it. Oh, you say, because Trump is in office, or because of his policies, and because there was a shutdown, the government shutdown during this election cycle, and the Democrats shut down the government so that they can take over and all that, and they can win all those races. Well, you may be right, but at the same time, it is something that will trigger things that will happen. That's one thing you should understand. You look at the spirituality of what I'm talking about. It is things. There are things that will trigger those things into life, so that those things will start to happen. Things will trigger them. So, and from what I'm seeing here, Zoran Mamdani has won the mayoral race there. Upon everything, everybody knows about him being a fundamentally, an Islamic fundamentalist and everything. And he's someone who doesn't believe in the work of the police. He doesn't, he wants to defund the police and all that. And he wants to blur the line, the clear line between right and wrong and all that. He wants to blur everything. So, and then they still voted for him. They voted him in. There is the Attorney General race in Virginia. The candidate that won there, everybody knows him to be that he was wishing death on the Speaker of the State House of Assembly there, and he was also talking of the children of the man, being killed and all that, and he will urinate on the grave of the man and all that. And after saying all that, he still won the race. After all that, he still won. So the people, they don't care for what is right from what is wrong. They don't care for those things anymore. Americans don't look at it. All they know is they hate somebody and they want to carry that hate to any level. They hate Donald Trump and they don't want to have anything to do with anything that has to do with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is in office. Anything they will do, anything to hurt him, anything to hurt Republicans who are still saying there is a clear distinction. There should be a clear distinction between right and wrong, good and evil, light and darkness, and all that. They don't want to hear all that. Man and woman, and all, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear all that. They believe there's nothing like right or wrong, and man and woman, and all that. So what they consider to be right, it could be wrong, and they say it's right, and that is it. Whatever is wrong, they say that's what they want. Anything of darkness, they say it is light, and that means it is light. So that is what they want. And so I don't want to talk elaborate too much on that. Coming back here, America in last days prophecy. I have just made it clear to you now that what you are seeing happening, playing out in America, the socialists, they are going to take over America. I said it in that video I made before, that you can only pray for an extension of your peace. But that they will not take over is out of it. They will take over. They will take over. And once they take over, you can be sure the last days is very, very much at hand. Because they're going to take over. I know they will take over. Even at the presidential level, they will take over. It may not be immediately, may not be during Trump's tenure or after Trump's tenure. Maybe one administration or two after, I don't know. Maybe more than that, I don't know. Maybe less, I don't know. Maybe after Trump, I don't know. But when the Democrats come back, I said it before this great win they had, I said it before. I said when they come back to take over the leadership of America, and then they win the presidential election in America, the world is almost gone. They are going to change every law. As the Bible says of the Antichrist, they're going to change the laws, they're going to change times and seasons, they're going to change everything. Everything that they've been trying to do, they will do everything. And they're going to blow out the line between man and woman. They're going to blow out the line between right and wrong. They're going to blow out the line between light and darkness and everything. They're going to mix everything up. That is what the Bible calls corruption. That's what the Bible calls pollution. It's corruption. They're going to corrupt everything. So you will not know what is right or what is wrong. You don't know what is good from what is evil. They will blot out that line so that good is evil and evil is good. They are going to blow it out. That's what they have been trying to do, and they are going to achieve it. I've said it before. The only thing the world can do, Christians all over the world, the only thing you can do is to pray for an extension of the peace of the world. You can only pray for an extension. To stop it, no, you cannot stop it. Because these are the last days. And Daniel the prophet has already made it very, very clear. Let me quickly read the book of Revelation before I round up in this first part of this, so that everybody will know. Get ready, get prepared. These are the last days. These people are going to take over, and when they take over, you can be very, very sure. All those things that the Bible talked about that will start to happen, they will start to happen. Everything that the Bible mentioned that will start to happen one after the other. Let's quickly look at the book of Revelation chapter 17. Revelations chapter 17. And I'm going to be reading there from verse 4. And the woman was arrayed. Okay, let's take it. Let's take it from verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. The great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. 7 heads and 10 horns. Those 10 horns are the 10 great nations, or the 10 super world powers. The 7 horns are the 7 continents of the earth. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is. All right. Like I said, time will not permit me to interpret everything one by one yet, but I'm going to do that in this series. Now we'll come back to Revelation chapter 18 because of our time. Revelation chapter 18, I'll read it from verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich among through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as he rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which he has filled with her, fill to her double. Okay, sorry. Let's look at verse 14. Verse 16. Let's look at verse 16. And saying, Alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Now, why am I trying to cut everything short? Because I can't do everything in this one series, in this one video. Like I said, I'm going to have to do it in a number of videos, and I'm going to explain everything one after the other. All the 4 beasts that came out of the sea and what each of them signify. And like I told you, all of them signify the systems of government that will come up in the world, the systems of government that will rise up out of this earth. And those systems of government, I've told you the 4. The first one, like I said, is the monarchical system. Second one is the communism, is the system of the communist system. The third one is democracy, and the fourth one is a mixture, a conglomeration of the first 3. The first one is a conglomeration, that is bringing all the other 3 together in one. And that is what is going on in the world today. You can see that almost all the nations of the world today are practicing their president is like a monarch in many parts of the world. In fact, more and more power will be given to presidents. So in many nations today, you are going to see this things happening. And yet they're going to still be practicing democracy. They're going to be talking of electing, even Russia, communist Russia, they talk of electing elections and all that. China, communist China, they're also talking of elections and all that. So democracy is going to continue to be there. Then you are going to see communism, that is socialism. Even America today, they're talking of the SNAP, and they are going to give food stamps to those vulnerable people and all that. So that's all socialism. So, and if you look at it in all that they do in all over America, even Republican states and everything, you find socialism there. So it's going to be there. And then, like I said, the third is the democracy, monarchy, communism, democracy. And you see, democracy is all over. So the 3 are all interwoven together in all the countries of the world today. They are practicing the 3 together. And so they may not acknowledge it that they are practicing it, but they are practicing these 3 together. That's the 4th beast that Daniel said came out of the waters. Once everybody starts to practice these 3 systems together in one, that's the 4th beast. Once they start to practice everything together in one, you know very well that these are the last times. We are in the very last of the last days. That is what is happening now. And you can see that all the nations of the world are going to start dovetailing towards communism, dovetailing towards socialism. And all the countries, that's why you see them, you talk of globalism, talk of open borders and all that. All that is, all those are elements of communism, elements of socialism. Oh, you allow everybody to come in, or you should not stop them. The only person that is acting as a witness today against all these evils that are going to come upon this earth is Donald J. Trump. President Donald J. Trump. I believe God raised him for that purpose, to be a witness, so that the world will see the difference. As the socialists of America, socialist democratic party of America, as they are trying to take over everything and they are trying to rubbish him and everything, the world will see the clear difference. So, and Americans themselves, they will see the clear difference between the two. The whole world also that take after America, the whole world takes after America one way or the other. They will also see the clear difference between the two, between what Trump has been preaching, conservatism, and what Trump stands for, conservatism and socialism. You see everything, because the Antichrist is going to come in through that socialist thing. The Antichrist is going to overwhelm the world through the socialist thing. He's going to come as a socialist. He was going to look like he's a very nice guy, he's a very nice person. And when you talk of those 10 horns, in this prophecy, we are going to get there that 3 of the horns were plucked up by an unknown horn. 3 of the 10 great nations, superpower nations, 3 of them will be plucked up by one small. And those 3 are going to be the greatest of them. Once he achieves that, then the Antichrist will have will be respected and everything. I've written all these things down in my book, AI 666 and the World's End. Is there. And because of time, I'm going to stop here, because to do a long video may not be the best now. Like, subscribe, share, so that more people will come up, and then I'll be able to do live. I've said it in my videos before. I want to start doing live so that people can talk to me, and then I can do long teachings. I can talk. Then you can, ask me questions on all these things I'm saying, and then I'll be able to open the Bible to you and then show you from the Bible, open the Bible to you, explain to you from the Bible and all that. So please, let us like. Don't just watch my videos without liking and subscribing and sharing and all that. Please do, and leave a comment. If you have any comment, please leave a comment. So we have seen it now. Socialism has taken root in America. Socialism. Last, Senator Bernie Sanders and the rep of New York, Bronx, from the Bronx, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They have finally had their way. They have brought in a socialist Democrat. Socialist Democrat. The Republicans will call him a commie. That is socialist communist. Zoran Mamdani. He has won the race, the mayoral race in New York. And not just that alone, a lot of things are going to start to happen. They are going to win the presidency of America. They will take over. They will take over because these are the last days. And because the three we blend together, the three systems will blend together. And he says this beer is going to, crisscross. And they are going to, they will accept communism. They will accept it in a way. They don't accept it directly. They are going to accept it directly through socialism and everything. So we all know that this is what, or rather Christians who understand the scriptures know that these are the things that will happen in the last days. So I'm sounding out a warning. We are in the last days. I'm sounding out this warning tonight. We are in the last days. And this is happening now are clear indications we're in the last days. America, I have said it in my book, AI 666 and the world's end. America will collapse, whether they like it or not, because the system that America is practicing, the conservatism, cannot work with the Antichrist. Capitalist conservatism cannot work with the Antichrist. It's not possible. So the Antichrist will come through an election, democracy, but we have the powers of a monarch, but at the same time, we practice socialism. It is through socialism it will deceive the whole world. Because the Bible says it will deceive the whole world. And the element of socialism is what the Antichrist will deploy, what we hold on to, what the Antichrist will hold on to deceive the whole world. So you have seen it there. A communist has come in. From there, they are going to start to promote communism to the highest levels. And when the Republicans make any small mistake like this, they are going to come in. So what you can do as a Christian, what you can do as an American, pray that there's an extension. What you can only get is an extension. Mark my words. You can only get an extension, so that maybe during your own time, during your own days. But the children that are coming up, you can see the corruption of those children through the internet and everything. You can see the corruption of the world. So when you see all these things happening, you know very well, socialist Mamdani has coming. Very soon, they are going to start working to get the White House. And when they get the White House as socialists, you can be sure that will definitely start to lead to the very end, as is written, according to the prophecy of Daniel and according to what John the Beloved wrote in Revelation. So we are going there. We are getting there. We are getting there. But for Nigeria, I congratulate you once more, because I'm believing God. Righteousness will soon break out in Nigeria. Righteousness, genuine holiness and righteousness. Holiness with God, righteousness with fellow men. Genuine righteousness is about to break out in Nigeria. And when that genuine righteousness eventually takes root in Nigeria, Nigeria will be a great nation. I pray so. In Jesus' name. Amen.